Hello everyone, Brickdark here, and welcome to the final ever review in this space. I'm moving countries very soon, so I'm going to have a new recording space, and so I thought, what could be a more fitting set to be the final set I review here than my most wanted Star Wars set of the year. In fact, probably my most wanted set of the year in general. Today we're looking at the 2022 Republic Fighter Tank, which has 6 figures, 262 pieces, and retails for $40 in the United States, where it is a Target exclusive. Up first, we have Mace Windu, who is exclusive to this set and has some beautiful printed arms that denote him from the Clone Wars with the little armor on them. These look absolutely beautiful. And you can see the printing is a little sloppy on this one. It looks, I don't know, just a little not quite right, but the rest of it, if you don't look at it from the very back, looks incredible. I'm not sure if the face is exclusive. I think the one in the UCS Republic gunship has a closed mouth, and that's my theory on why this set exists. It seems like such a random set, but I feel like they were going to originally include that Mace Windu from the UCS gunship with the dirt print, but after such backlash that the accessory set received for including the clone commander, they decided to shelve that idea and redesign the Mace Windu to give him printed arms, which I think look absolutely excellent. The purple lightsaber is also interesting. I believe it's a new kind of thing they're doing with lightsabers where they give it almost like a kind of snowy translucent. It's a difficult thing to describe, but it's not typical, it's not the standard translucent color that was used for figures of past. I don't have my Mace Windu from 2013 right now, so I can't compare, but I do believe they are doing something different with the lightsaber blades. But this is an incredible figure, really happy to have this, and it's just awesome to have what is probably the best Mace Windu we've ever had. But Mace Windu isn't the highlight figure, which is weird to say because it's such a good figure. No, the highlight figure has got to be the 187th Legion clones. You get 2 of these beautiful figures, and the box does not do these figures justice. The purple on these figures is so vibrant. It's very nice and bright. On the box, it almost seems like black. It's extremely dark, and I was fearing that they might go that route and have the purple be extremely dark, but it's not. It's nice and bright, and I love it. Now, these figures aren't actually canon, at least not in this purple color. Originally, they are a Hasbro creation, and Hasbro created them back in 2005 to go along with Revenge of the Sith. And you'll see that in a little bit when we get to the other clone figure. But, yeah, these aren't canon. I believe Mace Windu does have his own clone legion, but I think they have a brown marking instead of the purple. Underneath is just the standard clone head they've been using since 2020. And it's just so nice to get these figures finally, because now you can have the clone rainbow with red, orange, yellow, green, blue, and purple clones. It's so nice to have these guys. Would I prefer if they had the purple arms? Yes, but considering LEGO's going in the direction with the white arms and that this is the first time we've ever gotten these figures, I think they look absolutely beautiful. Love these guys. I probably will get multiple of this set if it's ever on sale. But these figures are absolutely beautiful. I'm so happy to finally have them. Ever since this set got rumored, maybe about 11 months ago, it's been my most wanted set. Even more so than the ATTE with Commander Cody. So that's also very high on my wanted list. But these purple clones, man. Oh, they are absolutely beautiful. I love them. Then we have the 187th Commander. This is interesting. Again, since these are a non-canon creation and Hasbro made back in 2005, they just use the airborne trooper as the commander, which is very interesting. Now, I personally am going to think of this as just a standard airborne trooper because the only real indication that it's commander is those two lines on the torso you can see comparing it to the normal 187th. It doesn't have those two lines. It does come with the extended blaster with the candle piece on it. You can see they do print the waist cape, which would have been nice if that was a physical piece, but since the box depicts the commander being inside the fighter tank, I can understand why, since they tend to bend a lot. Another beautiful looking figure, though it's not really a complaint, just something I've noticed, but every other figure that's used the airborne trooper helmet, so the two 212th airborne troopers we've gotten in 2014 and 2020, and the Geonosis airborne, have had some sort of printing above the visor, whereas this one doesn't, so it ends up looking a little bald, which I think is kind of funny, but it's still a very nice figure. I am going to choose to think of this as just a standard airborne trooper, but if you want to think of this as a commander, then by all means. Again, since this isn't a named figure, it's just a generic commander, I'm thinking of it as just a generic airborne trooper. Once again, it's the standard new clone head underneath. Another really nice figure. The footprinting is white, which I didn't mention with the 187th. They do have purple footprinting, which is really nice. And I prefer the standard 187th clones to this, but this is still a very, very nice figure that I'm so happy we're getting, and it's such a random figure, and random set to get at such a random time, but I'm so happy it exists. You even have some hip printing, which is not present on the standard 187th clone. Yeah, this figure is wonderful, very happy with it. And yeah, I'm just so happy this set exists. I love getting Phase 2 clones, and these figures are just such an odd choice. I'm so glad they exist, because I don't know where else we would have gotten them. In fact, we wouldn't. It's such a just random set, and I love it for that. Also included in the set are 2 battle droids, which don't hurt. It's something to go up against. It's a bit of a droid army builder. They don't hurt. They come with the gunmetal gray blasters. We've seen these guys 1,000 times. The design hasn't changed since 2007, and I don't see as to why it would unless they actually get a bent arm instead of just a full straight one. It's basically like this, but the hand is turned to the proper way so that it's holding the gun properly. I think that's the only real way you can improve on the battle droid. I mean, this is basically peak battle droid design. But yeah, they don't hurt, but you've seen these figures up 1,000 times already. Now, the Republic fighter tank is the main build of this set. It's the only build of the set, and it's inspired a fair amount of criticism. Now, personally, I think this is the second best Republic fighter tank that LEGO's ever made. I think it's better than the 2017 one, which, even though that's the most proportionally accurate, I think looks the worst. It just looks like they smashed it in with a frying pan like a pug's face. It just doesn't look very good. The 2008 version, which was the original, is definitely the best version. It's bigger, it's beefier, and it's got the proportions right, or they look the best. They're not technically right, since it's very oversized, but this is a pretty sizable build for $40, even though it uses just over 250 pieces. It is still a pretty big build. There's a lot of large pieces here, so you're certainly getting your money's worth by the footprint of the set. Lots of stickers. You want to take your time, otherwise you end up with a unfortunate gap, but they do use a very nice lime accent throughout. The most of the thing is in red and white. A fair amount of stickers in the set. You got some more Republic logos there, and then this piece right here, which has 3 stickers on it, and then 1 final sticker up there, and then 2 on the side. And my main issue with this set is this cockpit right here. You cannot close it so that it's flush with the rest of the build, even though that was more than easily possible. If you move these parts, it does go flush. There's nothing holding it in place to stop it, but they could have just moved these bits back or moved them down or something, and it just would have worked so much better. But you do have a seat in the front, so where you can place one of your 187th clones. to pilot the thing, and he's decently hidden. Of course, you don't have that unfortunate gap, which isn't great. The thing can move. It is on some wheels, so you can just move it back and forth. And then there are some spring-loaded shooters on the side, which I don't think look very good. They're not particularly well hidden, but when they're not in there, they look fine. So you just push this, and they fire. Spring-loaded shooters, it's pretty standard design, coming up to 10 years in 2024. These things can also move all the way around, which I'm not a huge fan of, since they can get out of position with one another. I would have liked it if they were connected by the same Technic rod, so when you moved one, they moved together, because they aren't supposed to move independently in the actual vehicle, they move together. And the original, I believe, 2008 model had something stopping this from going down like that. So, just a little thing. You can actually pull this ramp down, and you can kind of fit another figure in this part right here. You can't really have them fit in a way that makes sense. They're just kind of lying down there. But for this top part, you do have these musketeer bits, which are not well attached at all. They fall off very easily. I think they could have used another stud to connect them there. But inside up here, you do have this control panel, and I really do like how flush this cockpit piece is. There's no gap at all, basically, between the corner bits. It is a bit difficult to pull out, but it's not super hard. Then you can take your 187th Commander and have them fit inside and be on top of the vehicle. I don't believe you can close it, have the figure sit down and have the hatch close. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. So you do have to have the hatch up, which is unfortunate. That's something the two previous versions did have. You could close the hatch with the other figure inside, but for some other little details, you do have these little corner bits, and then just the very nice variation of cheese slopes and ingot pieces. They look nice, and I will say I wish that it was a bit more smoothly built up instead of being as kind of blocky as it is with such a sharp increase in height, but that's not a huge deal. But my main problem is with this piece. It should have been these parts should have been maybe a stud or two lower, and it would have just gone flush with the bill, and it would have looked so much better, because you can't make this flush. You can't manipulate the arms with how it's attached, and it's also a pretty weak connection. As you can see, I just kind of broke it off without much effort, so it's probably the weakest part of the design, but you can fit two figures, even three technically, in here, which you couldn't do on the 2017 one, so that's an improvement, I think. But yeah, that's about it for the build of this set. Let's take a look at the box and then the instructions. The box for this is like a long $40 box, maybe about the length of the Armored Marauder from last year. You do have the orange stripe with the 332nd clone to indicate this is from the Clone Wars proper box art, unlike on the ATTE. You can see on the back, just show off some of the different details, as well as the Greebling box art, which I wasn't too high on this new redesign for 2022, but I think I've come around on it, especially having variations like the Clone Wars and Bad Batch stripes. I think just do a lot and make these new boxes look pretty nice. Instructions are a big square, and on the back they do have an ad of all the non-18 plus sets from the early half of 2022. Done reviews on the Dark Trooper Attack, Snow Trooper Battle Pack, and the Hoth ATST, and I have no interest in the other two. So something really interesting is they seem to have used a render for the Razor Crest Microfighter instead of the official just product image. And something also to note is that this might be the last time we get these style of instruction booklets for LEGO Star Wars, since in the summer of 2022, for all LEGO themes, they've gone with this ugly, horrendous white background with a bad render. instead of just taking the box art and plastering it onto the front of the instruction booklet. It's something to do with the environment, which I don't understand why when they're still using plastic bags instead of paper bags. That's way more important in my opinion than just changing the image that's on the front of the box, but I don't know. I can't imagine they'll keep that change for long. The backlash on that has been immense, but yeah, basically that's about the quality you can expect for the renders. It's not good. You'll probably see that if I get my hands on the ATTE, which hopefully I'll be able to maybe get it before the end of the year, but I mean, that set's gonna be hard to find no matter where you are in the world, so I wouldn't be surprised if I don't even get that before it retires. But yeah, that's it for the instructions. So this was my most wanted set of 2022. Does it live up to the expectations? Yes. The figures are absolutely beautiful. The Mace Windu is the best Mace Windu we've ever gotten. It's a shame that my copy seems to have a slightly scuffed printing on the very back of the arm, but it's such a minor detail and can only be seen from a certain angle that I personally don't really mind. The 187th clones, both the Commander and the two regular clones, are beautiful. I never thought we would get them because, again, they are non-canon and are a Hasbro creation of all things. And it's so cool to get them. Something I never knew I needed, and I'm so happy with them. The Republic fighter tank, I think, it's good. It's not incredible, it's not knock out of the park, it's not the best Republic fighter tank Lego's ever made. But I think it's pretty good. The only piece of criticism that I have that I think is really worthwhile and not something that I think is like nitpicky is this front windscreen piece. I think it just looks bad, and it's a simple fix. You could have just add another 2 studs or something, and these parts would have moved down enough to where they don't block this from going down, but also keeping it in place. That's my main thing. But this set, I'm just so happy it exists, because it really seems like LEGO is starting to take notice that people like clones, and specifically Phase 2 clones, because before the 501st Battle Pack in 2020, really the only Phase 2 clones we would regularly get was Kashyyyk, which is cool and all, but we got too many Kashyyyk sets too quickly, and I think as a result they became less cool. But now that we're getting stuff like 501st, 212th, 187th with these guys, which are beautiful, never thought I needed, and I never thought we would get, but here they are, and they look wonderful. It's really nice that we're finally getting other clones other than Kashyyyk again, and I think that's wonderful. But judging this set as it is, I will probably make another video explaining like what other clone sets we could get at some point in the next decade. But speaking for just this set in this review, as the final set to review in where I currently live, I think this one absolutely is a worthy final set. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. Really do wish that this main compartment, the cockpit piece at the front, went flush with the model. That's my main criticism, but as it stands, this is a set I can easily see getting multiple of for those beautiful clone troopers. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you guys later. See you guys in a new space. Peace.